Captain's log. Super Bowl Sunday. I smell like goat urine and poop and crappy hay. All in all, the only thing that means is we're cleaning the shed again. Another week, another cleaning, and it's colder than a well digger's butt. Something my wife says. I'm gonna continue cleaning, but I'm doing it in stages. Wow, my face hurts already, and I'm that far from the door. So have you seen A Christmas Story? I think it's Randy when his mom gets him all bundled up to go to school, and he looks like a walking marshmallow. Pretty much what I feel like right now. I just looked, it's -2. The wind chill is -17. So this is awesome. So my phone died last night because we pitchfork all that bedding into the back of the pickup, and I drive it over to our compost, manure pile, whatever you want to call it. And I lost 60% battery in the like 10 minutes it took me to pitchfork the back of the truck out onto the pile. And so, needless to say that you guys didn't see the rest of that. It got cold enough last night cleaning the shed out that we took the little heater over just to pump some heat back into the shed once we were done cleaning it. Because even the moms were standing around thinking, you know, it's great that you broke this into little spurts by opening and closing the door, but that sucks. So anyway, we're gonna get morning chores done, and I think tonight we're gonna probably have to start doing some additional bedding. Air temperatures, as you all know, are just gonna continue to decrease, especially at night. I think next weekend we're looking at anywhere from 10 to 15 below zero, depending on the day and what they say it's gonna be. So anyway, we'll see if I need the full face stocking mask, see if my face falls off this morning, but I guess good luck to all of you out doing chores. Okay guys, checking in. It's, I don't know, probably 4 o'clock. I think we're up to maybe 5 degrees. I am filling water. I've already got those full. So hey, that's a bonus. I already filled the 4-foot tank over at the weaning sheds for those moms. Something's gonna have to change for next year. That's just not enough water capacity to have milking moms over there. I know maybe it's Hastings Equity Manufacturing, actually made where I'm from in Hastings, Nebraska. I believe they're the ones that actually show a 1 foot tall, like a sheep style tank, but you can get like a 4-foot round or something like that. Especially where I am cutting a panel out and I'm splitting them underneath the panel for both pins. Something like that I could make work. If I knew the goats would drink out of a hog drink tank without drowning themselves or doing something stupid or a baby getting in it, having the 2 foot tall capacity compared to these would be nice. You know, these are like 47 gallon. It'd be nice to push 100 gallon so I wasn't filling every couple days. But that's it's just where we're at. I'm irritated by the fact that I don't have the equipment I would like to have, or the extra money just floating around to willy-nilly just buy new equipment. But it's a good thing, because when I realize it, it's because our kids are growing that much bigger. They're not necessarily popping out huge, like 14 pounds like last year, but they're coming out and they're getting really big by the time they're 6-7 weeks, to the point where I need an 8-inch gap to get some of my kids through a creep gate. But that means some of my smaller moms can get in there too. And I can't have it both ways. You know, I can't. 7-inch, I might be able to get the babies in, but we're getting to the point where they're wide. So I guess we'll take that one as a win. As you can tell, you know, our shavings are getting wet. They're breaking down. It would be time to clean it today, but that's not happening. It is, what is it in here?
30 degrees.
Right around 30. So we do have, well, they got shavings in that one, so I'm gonna have to dump that one out. It's ucky. I just filled it up. Their other 2 tanks are still good. But what we're gonna do is we've got our bag of, I don't know if this zooms in. We've got our bag stalled right down there. So what we're gonna do is give
give the floor a coat of stall dry. And then we brought, well, to start, we've got 6 bags of shavings. We're just going to deep bed this with another layer of shavings until midweek when people start getting weaned or it starts getting warmer and we can actually do something in here. Use some stall dry. Like I said, it's an absorbent and a deodorizer. This is why we're using it. Neutralizes ammonia. That's the main reason we've been using this product. Like I said, it's like 20 bucks a bag. We're still kind of watching for Peachy Girl. She should be due, oh, by the end of the week. And everybody else is looking good. We're actually going to start switching these moms. I'm going to bring it over tonight. Probably make them mad, but they're going to get switched over to prairie hay. So, but everybody's excited. Clean their tank out. Some nice clean fresh water. No shavings or nanny nuggets, as people call them, in there. I'm not having to use the sprayer hose, so that's good. What I've been doing is keeping some extra water on the other side, but honestly they just kind of make it dirty. Unlike all of our friends to the south that don't deal with this kind of stuff all the time, we have our very crude put up by me insulation, and it helps. It'd be interesting to see if some of these producers down south, it may be a once in a lifetime thing, but it'd be interesting to see if this Arctic plunge that's happened, or whatever you want to call it, changes maybe how they have some setups, even if it never gets used, if you'll see things insulated or closed up for the just in case. We are out of hay. So across our luscious above ground pool, you'll see the mamas got weaned this morning, which I think Shayna took a clip of. This spot, I'm going to get the old 806 fired up. She's been plugged in. I'm gonna go blade in front of my bales, come back in, put the in-laws, they've got a spear on the front of their loader, so if we're not moving bales out of the field, I usually kind of hold on to this one. I'll show you. I back up here with the tractor through the great whiteness that you can't see, and I set the bale down, and then I pull out of it, drop the tines down a little bit farther, and I push the bale over. If I don't have that angle just correct, the tines start to do this, and it's not a matter of adjusting the top link, because as that fast hitch raises, it'll do this, or as I drop it, it'll pull it down. It's all the angle, and it's the fact that the fast hitch does not operate in the same geometry as a 3-point. So it's kind of frustrating. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop those pins one lower when we get ready to do that. So anyway, let's see if the old girl will fire up. Quick tip, if any of you are homesteaders or something like that maybe didn't grow up on a farm, tractor's a little cold, hydraulics are a little cold. See those? I've got the PTO engaged. While the tractor warms up just a little bit, I'm gonna let that run. The problem is, it'd be nice if it had just a little bit of a load to it, just create a little resistance to help warm that hydraulic fluid up. But we're gonna let that warm up. now you know how I do that. This is actually some 2019 hay. We'll probably, when I cut this open, we'll probably only have, it'll kind of depend. If you get up here in the top, 4 inches on the last bale, there are some, older spots, because I mean, it's been sitting out for 2 winters, but we had a pretty mild winter moisture-wise last year and a drier year throughout the growing season in 2020. So realistically, I'll end up breaking off maybe 4 inches, a couple good layers on the outside. I'll slough off a good 2 or 3 inches in that first layer. We'll just take it back to our goat poo pile. Other than that, it's really green yet. I do know that you do have a forage quality loss over time. I don't remember from my reading if it kind of hits a plateau or if it drops in the first year and then it kind of just slowly decreases. I don't remember. But I do have a higher protein in my grain. So anyway, I'm going to get this cut open, get everybody some hay. I'm not getting rid of a whole lot. Like I said, it's sloughing off just a little bit on the outside. I just kind of go until I don't see anything. Like I said, you get up here at the top, sometimes you'll get some stuff until the point in the middle where it's loose. It's not clumped up by moisture, or maybe it was baled a little wet. I break it down in the bottom until it's gone, and then obviously we keep it in the shed. First year we did any of this with the rounds like this, I set them out the back door. Every time you turned around, the freaking wind was blowing the layers off the bale. I had it sitting on a pallet, and then I'd have 2 or 3 pallets around it on the north, east, and west side to kind of keep the wind from unwrapping it. But it just made a mess. It got everywhere. I always had tons of it on the ground. I just didn't like it. Where in here, I do have a dirt floor, but it's been packed over years, and I can at least rake it up and get all the extra crap out of here. But like I said, I don't even know. I probably didn't take off. I'm not 100% sure what these bales weighed this year in 19, but I mean, I couldn't have taken off more than 100 and some pounds worth of hay. Let's say 200 at the most. I mean, probably not even that. So anyway, if you have an option to do something like this, consider doing it. Okay, so we're singing Baby Shark in the other room. So as a farm husband, a goat operation husband, you have to know how to clean out your stupid high efficiency, worthless washing machine when you have hay in your pockets, alfalfa leaves in your pockets, same difference. You have shavings, you have afterbirth on towels, you have shavings and afterbirth on towels from kidding, anything like that. I want something that's going to wash like 14 pairs of coveralls, bibs, insulated bibs. That's what we want. 35 comforters. You buy a bigger dining room table so you can hold more loads of laundry. So I need to get a bigger washing machine. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the back of our Whirlpool Duet apart. Got everything loose. I just got to take this one loose. We need to get to the filter because it gets plugged with all the farm things. And if Whirlpool was thinking what they do, if this is the washing machine, on this model or any model, they would have a panel on the front that I could just unscrew, reach in, undo the filter, and drain it. But no, I have to, my room is not big enough, so I can barely get it turned around. And then I have to take the back panel off to get to it. So let's see what's in here from the farm. It's always a mystery. Okay, so here's what we got. Got the back panel off. It's just using the nut driver. And what we're after, get you one of these. Milwaukee Searchlight. Just $100, whatever it is. Just do it. Don't ask how much it is. Just buy one. On spot mode, there's flood. So in this machine, that right there is the filter. What we got to do is get something under here, because we either have a suds code, or basically what we get is a code where it won't drain. So this stupid little filter gets barely plugged and it quits. It's definitely a city person machine. So what I'm going to do is just got a boot tray here. What I'm going to do is
drain it on the boot pad.
Yep, drain it on the boot pad. So I ain't got a whole lot of room back here in our back entrance, but see if we can do this and film it for you. So you come in, lefty loosey. What I've done before, if I have room, gotta make sure I've got this level while it's trying to see, so I have less room.
No, I can see this from the camera.
Okay, can you?
Yeah. I can see.
So we have to try to get our tray somewhat level,
Wait, I can see it more.
so we can drain some of this water out. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll do this because there's holes in the bottom panel, and then I'll use the shop vac to suck this up. And let me tell you, this is always some really stinky water. So what we'll do is we'll drain this out. I'll very carefully pull this out. Right here behind this wall is our bathroom. There's a bathtub there. I'll just drain it down the drain. Well, outside of a random child Band-Aid, as you can see, there's half of a hay bale in this filter. So we'll get this cleaned out, and I'll continue throwing up from the smell of sewage water out of a washing machine. But that's why living on a farm is so difficult. Don't forget your necessities while cleaning the barn is some good old classic American Coca-Cola obesity drink. I tell you what, there's none better than being able to stop at McDonald's and get you a Coke. Okay, so well, I'm not gonna see. I'm sweating. I'm not gonna time lapse this whole thing. You've seen it. It's clean floor, dirty floor. Scoop it outside. Oh, by the way, if any of you are wondering, my shirt does say the Goat Father. Got that from my sister-in-law Shaylee. I think probably just off of Amazon. I've seen them on there. So, if any of you are wondering. The Goat Father. If you're wondering why it's like 20-some degree wind chill out and I'm sweating in a t-shirt, what do we got? About 44 degrees here in the shed, here on the west half. Light winds are out of the northwest today, so it makes no day is a good day to pitchfork this 14 by 40 shed out, especially where if I may not have shown the clip, or you maybe haven't seen it yet. It's probably not out on a video, or by the time you see this, it might be on a video you've seen. But it was, like everywhere, it was so cold last weekend. We just could not. She just wants some of their alfalfa so bad. But anyway, it was so cold that we made the decision to come in, put some stall dry on top of everything, and then just rebed over the top of it. We don't deep bed, especially in this shed, because, well, you can see, me or Shana have to pitchfork it once a week. And so if we let it go, kind of like around here where some of their alfalfa stems are, because, you know, heaven forbid a goat eat all of their alfalfa, and then they've been getting grass, so they've just got a hay mess everywhere. So I've got to dig through, you know, that's why we use shavings now, is because it is a lot easier on us to tear this up, get under it with a regular pitchfork, break it up, haul the top stuff off, use the Durafork or some other style polyfork, whichever of you're choosing, to clean up the shavings. I usually keep a rigid rake and a traditional leaf rake in here, just for scratching at things to get anything out. Because, you know, as they walk and stuff like this, it'll get kind of packed, and I like to get that layer up. That way I can treat it with the stall dry, go from there. So anyway, that's just a little update, I guess. I don't know if you've probably never seen it. We leave phone and the tripod and stuff like that here in the shed. Forgive me if you go blind. Here's what we do. We walk out, the old farm truck, rusty, crusty, sometimes trusty. We just pitchfork it in the back. And then what we do is, I don't know if I'm pointing, I don't know, back over the hill, you can, maybe right here. You can see where we've got a couple years, and this is second year's worth of manure. What we used to do is where the pickup sits, I'd come out here and I'd throw it as far as I could all winter long, make a giant pile, to the point where it would start tumbling back 4 foot tall against this fence. And then I'd come in and I'd have to borrow somebody's loader, skid steer, something like that to move it, do something with it. So we figure if I can blade a path with the tractor each time it snows, drive it over, we'll kick it out, make 3-4 trips for all these buildings, and then I don't have a mess here. People don't, when they come, they don't have to see a giant pile of poo. Plus, this is where we attempted to put a garden in last year. Really struggled getting anything to grow. It was so dry here in eastern Nebraska. So hopefully, if I can get somebody to turn this over for me, this manure pile, while I get somebody to come out, hopefully this summer, and make me some mounts for my loader, we can get that compost in, because I would like to be able to put it back onto the garden. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to start recording now, because, you know, I need to lose some weight, and I'm a huffy puffy man, and sometimes I need to take a break. And, well, I don't need you to see how much of a slacker I am from time to time. So I'll leave you with that, and when we get ready to rebed it, I'll kind of show you that. I don't know if you've ever actually seen us put that stall dry down. We just use a red feed scoop, toss it down like most people would use barn lime. So like I said, we like the product, so we use it, even though it's more expensive than barn lime. It's got an ammonia neutralizer in it, so we feel like it works. Well, this update is brought to you by nobody besides me, the pooper scooper, and a pitchfork. So anyway, we are on our second pickup load of manure, litter, shavings and manure and hay, something like that. So we are 2 6.5 pickup box loads down now, and I still have, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my conduit clamps off that are back here holding this to the wall, so I can clean up under this real good. Usually it's just some loose dry hay that's underneath, the baby's laying it, but and we clean up here around the outside. But this is the poo pile. This is well, it is what it is. It's a poo pile. It's last year's poo and this year's poo. As you can see, it's only about as tall as it coming out of the back of the pickup, because, well, that's just what happens. You don't have an operating loader with a bucket yet. One of these days we will. But anyway, as you can see, we got another 6.5 foot pickup box full. So this makes 2. Normally it takes 1 and just a little bit, or a very full box. Yeah, since we rebedded, sorry, the wind's blowing all that poop in my face. Since we rebedded the shed last weekend because it was so cold, speaking of cold, it's getting colder, it's taken me, as you would expect, about double. It's probably going to take me double the time. I've almost got it done. I just got to clean Haley and Peaches. But yeah, just due to the extra hay waste, alfalfa stem waste, stuff like that, it's made it a little longer. Thus, it's made it take twice as long because you have twice the product, but I'm also having to dig it up with the pitchfork, just like when we used to bed with straw. That's why we moved to shavings. Otherwise, this would be like a 14-hour project if you had 2 weeks worth of straw. It was just brutal. So anyway, I'm gonna get this dug out and get back into the shed. Sweating again. Okay, got that spot cleaned up. Tartar, let's we got some ideas for this thing. Not that you care, because you sell to tons of different producers, not just Brandon the pooper scooper and his boar goats. But as you can see, we've got a arch design to our wire. I'd like to see this heavy, like more like a cattle panel. Yeah, something like that, like a 4x4 cattle panel. Let's beef that up a little bit. What I'd like to see is, instead of this coming to a V, let's come down at a slight angle and then in. Maybe that'll help us with a square bale. So that way it's got a little bit of a, I don't know, a little more angle and then down. I don't know, I can't do it with the camera with my wrist. A horizontal foot down at the bottom, or like in this case, to where I could, even if it was just an L shape, to where at this time I could unbolt it and turn it and face it in, you know, parallel with the way this feeds. That'd be nice, and I could unbolt it or unpin it, and then I could kick it out perpendicular to support it. So like in this case, now that I've got it perpendicular to the wall, I could have the legs running parallel with the wall and keep it from tipping, and then to keep it from walking, I could use those conduit clamps. Just something to help protect the babies. It only takes you one time losing one, and you're just like, man, if only we would have done this or even thought about this. Kind of like our hanging basket feeders. We've had those. We've put eyelets in the wall in the first kidding shed, or the first weaning shed, and pretty sure we had one hurt her leg, get a stress fracture in, or something like that last year, because they always like to jump up and eat out of them. Darn goats always have to try to eat out of the top. That's why I like this little bit shorter feeder. They don't necessarily have to stand up to eat out of it, especially the moms. But that was another one of those. We learned from it with the babies, and then we put these in. You know, and in this case, this is where I'd love to see like an 8-foot version of this, because I could run an 8-footer in here along the wall, get the same feeding space, but I could spread them out down the wall. It would just save room in here, or I could run an 8-footer out in the pasture. On a side note, our people are still over there trying to dig that truck or whatever it is out of that snowbank. They've been over there. They've been over there a while. So maybe if you're younger watching this and you think, oh, hey, it's fun to go out with my buddies or impress some girl or something like that, driving through snow, just pick some mud. At least it'll dry up in a few days. Snow, it'll drift you in. You'll be stuck for a week. Ask some college friends I know that got stuck on that road when we were in college, my wife told me about. So anyway, back at it. Okay, well, I've got a little hole in this one, but if we've never talked about it, this is what we do use. Is this stall dry? As you can see it running out, it absorbs and deodorizes. So I can attest to the fact that, you know, having this opened up like this, you know, some moisture under it, without the door open, I do get some ammonia in here. Even with shavings, it doesn't kill it right away. This stuff, within an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 at the most, then the ammonia is neutralized in here. So whether it's just in my mind or not, for the $20 a week to do this whole shed, I highly recommend this stuff. For example, here's a fairly liberal coating of it in this stall. Like I said, I'm not coating it super thick, but just getting a covering on it. You know, here's a little bit of moisture. I'll probably hit that a little bit more. Where Tori was spilling her water, there it's a little more wet, but like I said, try to get those wet spots hit, and anywhere where they would pee, usually like in this area around the edge of where the hay feeder is, that's where you're going to see more urine while they stand and eat, kind of like that. And so like I said, that's usually just the areas you want to hit, but like I said, I'll get this whole area dusted. I'll go grab another bag if I need to, and then we'll lay shavings.